Alright, another useful thing that you can do is determine the length of an array, how many items it has, how many storage containers it has. And this is very easy, so we'll just print out system.out.println my array dot length. Now, this will print out what? It'll print out 4. And so, yeah, after this one. We'll just comment this out. It'll print 4 because my array has 4 different slots. You can see there. If we change the slots, it'll print that out. 7 slots. So this is very useful actually, and you use it fairly frequently because oftentimes you'll want to store something in the last index or check the last index or start some process at the last index in an array. And so how do we get at the last index of an array regardless of what size it is? We do this. So my array, let's try and store the value excuse me. Let's store the value of some quantity at the last index of the array regardless of how big the array is, because we might not know later in our program how long it is. So we say, let's start at my array dot length -1. And why do we do the -1? Well, because the length of an array is 1 greater than its last index. And so we need to store some value there for it not to be angry at us. Let's just store a -1. So this is a very common thing that you'll see throughout programs. And myArray.length -1 again goes to the last index, which is 6, because our array length is 7. It's 1 greater than the last index. And that seems confusing at first. It's actually very useful as you go on with programming. It's a very convenient thing they did. So just always remember that the length of something is the number of items in it in a way that you and I would talk to each other about it. But also remember that the index always starts at 0, so the final index is 1 less than the length. So if we print out now what is stored at my array item, and we'll print it out at my array dot length -1, so we'll always print out the last, whatever is the last item in that array. So in this case it'll print out -1. The nice thing about that, if you can't see it already, is that even if this is that many items long, this will always be able to find whatever is stored at the last index. So right now this array is 456,544 integers long. Like, you could literally store that many integers in this array. But this little tiny line of code gets us to the last index. So it's a very important thing for you to understand, and we're going to use it constantly throughout the year.